It was almost midnight when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't want to look, but the screen kept glowing like it was calling me by name. I reached for it, half asleep, and froze when I saw her name. Leila, I whispered, my chest tightening. 2 years. 2 silent years, and now she was calling me as if nothing had happened. I hesitated, then answered, "What do you want?" Her breath trembled through the speaker. "Ethan, please don't hang up." "You left me," I said. "Why are you calling now?" She paused, as if she had to push the words out. I need your help." "Help?" I laughed, though it hurt. "From me? The guy you walked away from?" "Ethan, please," she whispered. "I don't know who else to call." "Call your billionaire husband," I said. "He is everything you wanted." Silence answered me for several long seconds. Then she spoke, voice cracking. "That's the problem." Sat up straight. "What are you talking about, Lila?" "I can't stay with him," she said. I'm trying to leave." My heart hit my ribs. "So what does that have to do with me?" Another shaky breath. "I need you to sign my divorce papers." I felt the room tilt. "Your what?" "Divorce," she repeated, voice small. "I need your signature as a witness." I rubbed my face, anger and confusion mixing into something sharp. "You married him without even saying goodbye, and now you want me to help you leave him." "I know it sounds insane," she said. "But I'm scared, Ethan. I'm really scared." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "Why me? Why not anyone else?" "Because you're the only person who ever cared about me without wanting something back," she said. Her words hit harder than they should have. "That was before," I said. "Before you broke me." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was stupid. I thought I knew what I wanted. And now I just want out," she said. "Please, will you meet me tomorrow? Just to talk?" I closed my eyes. I should have said no. I should have hung up. But my voice betrayed me. "Where?" "The old cafe on Grant Street," she said. 10 in the morning. Swallowed. "Fine. Thank you," she whispered. "Good night, Ethan." The line went dead, but her voice stayed in my head like a bruise pressed again and again. I dropped the phone on the bed and whispered to myself, why did I say yes? The room stayed silent, but my chest didn't. It pulsed with old memories. Old wounds and something darker that I didn't want to name. Tomorrow, I would see the woman who left me for a billionaire. And now, she wanted me to help her escape him. I lay back, staring at the dark ceiling. "This is going to hurt," I muttered, and yet I knew I would show up. I always did when it came to her, even when I hated myself for it. I turned on the lamp, needing light, needing something that didn't feel like the past crawling up my spine. "Divorce papers?" I whispered. "She wants me to sign her divorce papers." The words didn't feel real, like they belonged to someone else's life. But this mess was mine again. I wondered if she sounded scared because of him, or because she knew what seeing her again would do to me. "You're pathetic," I told myself under my breath. "You should block her. You should forget her." But I couldn't. I remembered the last time I saw her. The look in her eyes, when she said she wanted more. The way she walked out without looking back. Now she was coming back with fear in her voice and my name on her lips. "Why now?" I whispered. I reached for the phone again, staring at her name on the call log. It felt like a ghost reaching out from another life. "Tomorrow," I said, as if saying it made it real. "I'll hear what she has to say. But I won't let her break me again." I hoped I was right tonight. I remember the night she told me she was leaving. It plays in my head like it never stopped. I was sitting on the couch after work, tired, rubbing my eyes, when Lila stood in front of me and said, "Ethan, we need to talk." I looked up and tried to smile, but something in her face told me the smile wouldn't matter. "What's wrong?" I asked. She crossed her arms like she needed armor. "I can't stay with you anymore." The words hit fast. "What do you mean you can't stay?" "I met someone," she said. "His name is Adrian." The room tilted. "Adrian who?" "Adrian Cross," she said, almost like she was proud. "He wants to take care of me." I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. "A billionaire?" "You're joking." "I'm not," she said. He sees potential in me, and I don't. I asked, is that what you think? She shook her head. Ethan, you don't even see potential in yourself. You won't take risks. You won't try for anything bigger. That's not fair, I said. I'm trying. I'm working. I'm doing my best. Your best isn't enough for the life I want, she said. I'm tired of living small, so you're choosing him? My voice cracked, and I hated that it did. She didn't blink. Yes, I stood up, feeling smaller than I ever had. You're leaving us for money? I'm leaving because he can give me a future, she said. You can't. I felt something inside me break. Lila, please. Don't go. Don't do this. We can talk. We can fix things. She stepped back like my words pushed her. No, I've made my decision. So that's it? I asked. After everything? She looked away. I want more, Ethan, and he can give it to me. I felt my throat closing. I love you, I said, even though the words felt useless. She whispered. I'm sorry, but she didn't sound sorry. She sounded sure. Then she grabbed her bag and headed for the door. Lila. Wait, I said, reaching out, but she didn't stop. She opened the door, paused for 1 second, and said, one day you'll understand. Then she walked out and left me standing there with nothing. I sat on the floor for a long time after she was gone. I kept thinking she would come back, that she would realize she made a mistake. But the apartment stayed quiet except for my breathing, and even that sounded broken. I didn't sleep that night, or the night after. I kept replaying her words, the way she said future like I had none. I stopped eating right. I stopped talking to people. I didn't want anyone to see how empty I felt. One night, Mara came over without warning. She knocked hard until I opened the door. You look awful, she said, and I didn't have the energy to argue. She left, I said. I know, she answered. Everyone knows. But you're still here. So get up. I can't, I told her. Then I'll help you, she said. But you're not dying over someone who traded love for money. I wanted to fight her words, but I couldn't. She stayed with me that night, talking until my mind stopped spinning long enough to breathe. Slowly, painfully slowly, I started moving again. Not because I felt better, but because staying broken didn't bring her back. And now, 2 years later, she wanted my help. After all that pain, after choosing him over me, I wondered if she remembered that night the way I did, or if it was just a chapter she closed when she walked out. But I never closed it. Not really, even now. Thinking about it makes my chest tighten. I hear her footsteps fading like a warning I ignored, and I wonder what tomorrow will reveal about wounds she left. I reached the cafe 5 minutes early, telling myself I didn't care. I kept repeating it like a shield, but when I saw her through the window, the shield cracked. She looked smaller, thinner, like someone had drained the color out of her. She tried to smile when I walked in, but the smile shook the whole way. Grace. The owner looked up from behind the counter and nodded at me. I nodded back, pretending I wasn't falling apart inside. I walked to Leela's table. You look different. She let out a breath. I know. It's been a hard year. I sat down, but kept my distance. You said you needed help. So talk. Her fingers trembled as she wrapped them around her cup. Thank you for coming. I'm not here for small talk, I said. Why did you call me? She swallowed. Because I didn't know who else would actually show up. That's not an answer, I said. You have a billionaire husband. Shouldn't he be handling your problems? Her eyes dropped. Adrian isn't the same man I thought he was. I leaned back. Meaning what? Meaning he changed, she said. Or maybe he was always like this, and I just didn't see it. Changed how? I asked. She took a shaky breath. He became controlling. He checks my phone, my messages, my bank account. He decides where I can go, who I can see, what I can wear. Sounds like a nightmare, I muttered. It is, she whispered. He gets angry over small things. He shouts. Sometimes he throws things. Sometimes she stopped and looked away. I clenched my jaw. Does he hurt you? She didn't answer, and the silence was louder than any yes. I rubbed my face. So why me, Lila? Why drag me into this mess now? Because I trust you, she said. I almost laughed. You trusted me enough to leave me for him. That's what I remember. I made a mistake, she said softly. A big one. Yeah, I said. You did. She didn't fight back. She just stared at her shaking hands. Adrian controls everything legal around me. My accounts, my documents, even my access to my own lawyer. But there's one thing he can't control. And what's that? I asked. My emergency contact file, she said. I never changed it. I blinked. Wait, you never removed my name? No, she said. I tried once, but I couldn't do it. I kept you there. You were the one person who ever showed up when it mattered, even if I didn't deserve it. I looked away, trying to breathe. So because my name is still on some old form, you want me to sign your divorce papers as a witness? Yes, she said. I just need one signature that he can't block. Someone he can't accuse of being paid off or manipulated. And you picked me. I said, I picked the only person who ever loved me without asking for anything back, she said. Her words twisted something sharp inside me. Don't use that, I said quietly. Not on me. Not now. I'm not trying to, she said. I'm just telling the truth. I shook my head. You really expect me to help you after everything? She looked up, eyes glossy. I expect nothing, but I hoped. Grace walked by our table, pretending not to listen. But I felt her glance at Lila's trembling hands, and then at my clenched fists. She set 2 glasses of water down and walked away without a word. Lila whispered, I'm scared, Ethan, of him. I asked, and of what comes after, she said. I don't have friends anymore. I don't have family who talks to me. I don't even have my own bank card. I'm alone. I stared at her, trying to decide if my anger was stronger than my pity. You're not completely alone, I muttered. She looked up quickly. Does that mean you'll help me? I didn't say that. I said, I'm still trying to figure out if this is my problem. It's not your problem, she said. But you're the only chance I have. I sighed and tapped my fingers on the table. I should walk out. I should leave you here and forget this ever happened. And why don't you? She whispered, because seeing her hurting felt like a knife I already knew too well. Because some part of me still cared even though I hated that part. I'll look at the papers, I said finally. But I'm not promising anything. Relief washed over her face. Thank you. That's all I ask. I stood up. This doesn't mean I forgive you. I know, she said. But maybe one day you will. I didn't answer. I just walked toward the door, heart pounding, wondering why seeing her again hurt more than it ever should have. Lila slid the papers across the cafe table toward me. Her hands trembled, and I noticed the faint lines under her eyes. Here, she said softly. Everything's here. Pick them up, my fingers brushing hers. I froze when I saw Tadrian Cross's name next to hers. My chest tightened in a strange way. I thought I'd feel relief, maybe even joy. But instead, it felt heavy, like I'd swallowed a stone. I stared at the page. This is it, I said quietly. She nodded, eyes downcast. Yes, it's final. I looked up at her. 2 years? Why did you stay with him for 2 years? Her lips trembled, and I could see the pain in her eyes. I couldn't leave, she whispered. He controlled everything, my money, my schedule, even who I could talk to. I clenched my fists, bitterness rising. So you stayed trapped for what? Money? Fear? She shook her head, tears welling. All of it. In love, or what I thought was love. He made me believe I had nowhere else to go. And maybe part of me I was scared of being alone. I ran a hand through my hair. The old urge to protect her surged, even though I knew she had chosen this life. You could have come to me, I said. I would have helped you. She flinched, shame flashing across her face. I know now. But then, I felt trapped. Even the thought of asking you for help felt impossible. I thought you'd moved on, and maybe you hated me. I swallowed hard, feeling the sting of my own lingering anger. I hated that you left. But I never hated you completely. I just didn't know how to be around you without breaking. She exhaled shakily, looking at the papers again. Jacob Reed is waiting for me. He said everything is in order. He is cold, Ethan. He doesn't care about anything except finishing this quickly. I nodded, trying to focus on the papers in front of me rather than the flutter of old feelings rising in my chest. So, you're signing. He's leaving, finally. She hesitated, then placed her hand over mine. I pulled it back immediately, reminding myself that she had chosen him, that she had chosen this life. Leela, you chose this, I said softly. She nodded, tears sliding down her cheeks. I know I did, and I regret it. I just wanted someone to know it. I clenched my jaw. I know. The silence stretched, heavy and uncomfortable. I looked at her, noticing how fragile she seemed, and part of me ached. The habit of wanting to protect her, to be the one to keep her safe, rose up despite my better judgment. I shook my head. No, I said firmly. I can't be that man anymore. Not now. Not after everything. Her voice was a whisper. Ethan, I couldn't answer. I turned my attention back to the papers. The name Adrian Cross stared up at me from the page, symbol of the life she had chosen and the distance that now existed between us. I forced my hand to reach for the pen, my fingers brushing the paper. My heart ached, but I reminded myself I was not going back. I could care, but I would not be trapped by her choices again. She looked at me one last time, silent tears on her cheeks. I nodded toward Jacob Reed at the counter, who was already tapping his watch impatiently. Go on, I said. Finish this. She exhaled, picked up the pen, and began signing. I watched, feeling the strange weight of relief and sorrow collide inside me. The papers should have made me happy, but instead, they reminded me of everything I had lost, and everything I was finally letting go of. The call came just as I was locking my office door. I almost let it ring out, but something in my chest tightened. When I saw his name, I froze. Adrian, I whispered. What the hell does he want now? I answered anyway. Finally, he said, voice smooth like he was greeting an old friend. I was starting to think you'd grown a spine and blocked me. I said, what do you want, Adrian? He laughed softly. Straight to the point. That's new for you. Usually you just glare at the floor and pretend you're not angry. I felt my jaw tighten. Say whatever you call to say. I don't have time for your games. Oh, but you're already playing mine, he replied. You've been hovering around Leela like some wounded hero. It's pathetic. I stepped back into my office, shutting the door. If she reached out to me, that's between us. You don't control that anymore. You really think she reached out because she cares? He asked. She pities you, same as always. The poor nobody who never learned his place clenched the phone so hard my hand shook. I'm warning you. Don't talk about me like that. You're warning me? His laugh echoed. Listen to yourself. You can barely manage your own bills. Do you really think you can challenge me? I'm not challenging you, I said. But I'm done being scared of you. Cute, he murmured. Let me give you some free advice. Stay away from Lila. Stop pretending you're her savior. And if I don't, he paused, enjoying the silence, then I'll ruin your career. I'll make one call to people who matter, and you'll never work in this city again. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. You think that scares me? I know it does, he said. Because you've always wanted to be someone. You've always wanted to prove you're more than the sad little boy she felt sorry for. I swallowed hard. You're scared? What? He snapped, the smoothness slipping. You're scared, I repeated. You wouldn't be calling me otherwise? He exhaled sharply. Don't flatter yourself. If you were sure she'd stay with you, you wouldn't care who she talked to. So what are you afraid of, Adrian? Did she tell the truth? That people will see what you really are. You don't know anything, he hissed. I know enough. And I know you're losing control. He fell silent for a long moment, and I could almost hear him grinding his teeth. Then he said, You think this gives you power? You think her running to you makes you important? I don't need to be important, I said. I just need to make sure she's safe. That's not your job. Maybe, but I'm doing it anyway. His voice dropped to a cold whisper. Back off, or I will destroy you. For the first time, I said, I'm not the one who should be afraid. He clicked his tongue, annoyed. You're making a mistake, probably, I said. But it's still mine to make. He inhaled like he was about to shout, then stopped himself. You're nothing, and you always will be. Keep telling yourself that, I said. Maybe one day you'll believe it. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, breath uneven. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. For the first time in years, it wasn't fear at all. It was something sharper, steadier. I whispered, he's terrified. The thought settled in me like a spark catching fire. All this time I'd believed he held every advantage. But he called me. He warned me. He threatened me. That meant I mattered now, and the realization filled me with a dangerous kind of calm. This wasn't just about Leela anymore. He made it personal, and I wasn't backing down. I walked out of my office feeling stronger than I had ever felt. I found Leela sitting on the edge of her couch, twisting her fingers like she expected me to explode the moment I opened my mouth. I said, "Why did you drag me into this?" She looked up slowly, eyes tired. "Because I didn't know who else to trust," she whispered. Her voice shook. "And because you've always answered when I needed you." I stepped closer, anger and confusion fighting in my chest. "You kept my name as your emergency contact for 2 years," I said. "Why?" "After everything." She pressed her hands together. "Because I never stopped trusting you," she said. "Even when I pretended I did." I felt something twist inside me. "That's not fair," I murmured. "You walked away." She wiped her eyes. "I know I did. I thought luxury meant happiness. Adrian made everything look golden, and I was stupid enough to believe him." I asked, "So now you regret it?" She nodded weakly. "Every day." I didn't know what to do with the ache rising in my throat. "Then why tell me now?" I asked. She whispered, "Because you're the only one who ever saw me clearly." I sat beside her, keeping an inch of distance. "You can't keep coming to me when everything falls apart," I said. She nodded, tears forming. "I know, but I didn't come for comfort." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small phone. "I came to show you this." I stared at it. "What is that?" She whispered, "My proof, my fear. Everything he tried to hide." I said, "Press play." She hesitated, then did. Adrian's voice burst through the speaker, sharp and venomous. "If you ever embarrass me again, I swear I'll make you disappear." Lila's breath caught. "I recorded everything," she said. "All the nights he screamed, all the threats," I whispered. "Why didn't you leave sooner?" She said, "Because he controlled every dollar, every door, every way out." I leaned back, overwhelmed by the storm inside me. "So you kept this all hidden?" She nodded. "I didn't trust his sister, even though she tried to help. Evelyn warned me he was getting worse, but I was terrified." I said, "Evelyn Cross? She talked to you?" Lila nodded again. "She told me to run. She said he only understands control." I rubbed my temples. "And now you show me this because what? You want me to save you?" She shook her head. "I want you to know why I'm scared. Why I kept reaching for you even when I shouldn't have." Said, "You hurt me." She nodded. "I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you so deeply." My chest tightened. "You can't just apologize and expect everything to go back," she whispered. "I don't expect that. I just needed you to hear the truth." She leaned toward me, trembling. "I regret leaving you," she said. "I regret chasing his world. I regret believing luxury meant love." I swallowed hard. "Your secrets hurt more than your lies," I said. She broke then, collapsing into tears. "I didn't know where else to go," she cried. "I didn't know how to breathe without fear." I hesitated, fighting the instinct to push her away. But when she leaned into me, shaking, I didn't move. She whispered, "I never stopped missing you." I closed my eyes. "This hurts," I said. "More than you understand." I kept my hands stiff beside me, unsure whether holding her would heal or reopen everything I had spent years trying to close. "Leela," I said softly, I don't know what you want from me now. She lifted her head, eyes red. I want safety, she whispered. I want someone who doesn't play power games with my life. I exhaled slowly. I can listen, I said, but I can't promise more than that. She nodded, tears streaking her cheeks. Listening is enough. I looked at the hidden phone glowing on the table. This changes things, I murmured. She whispered, I know. And as she leaned against me, I felt the truth settle inside me. Her secrets had tied us together in a way I wasn't ready for, yet couldn't walk away from anymore. I was halfway through brushing my teeth when the pounding started on my front door. I froze. The knocks were too hard, too sharp, the kind that carried threat in every hit. I wiped my mouth, walked to the door, and called out, Who is it? A voice I already hated answered, Open the damn door, Ethan. My stomach clenched. Adrian. I unlocked the door slowly. He pushed it open before I even stepped back. You've got some nerve, he spat. I raised a brow. You show up at my place now? He stepped inside like he owned the air around us. Don't play innocent, he said. You think I don't know what you're doing? I crossed my arms. You called me last night. You threatened me, he smirked, because you needed a reminder to stay out of things that aren't yours. My jaw tightened. Lila isn't a thing, his eyes flashed. She's my wife, I said, not for long. He moved closer, so close I felt the heat of his breath. Are you trying to steal her back? He growled. Are you enjoying being her little savior again? I shook my head. She came to me. I didn't go to her, shoved me hard, sending me back a step. Don't lie to me, I've steadied myself. Touch me again, and we'll have a real problem. He laughed, low and cold. You, a problem for me? I felt something snap inside me, something that had been building since the night he first stole her from me. Try me, I said. I'm not the same man you think I am. He moved like he was about to swing when a voice screamed from the hallway, Stop! Leela. She ran toward us, breathless, eyes wide. Adrian, please, she begged. Not here. Not like this. He turned toward her slowly. So this is where you've been hiding, he said. Running to him again? She shook her head. I wasn't hiding. I was leaving. He laughed sharply. Leaving? You think you get to leave me? She stepped between us, hands trembling. I'm done being scared, she whispered. I'm done letting you decide my life. He stared at her like she'd spoken another language. You're my wife, he hissed. You made vows. She looked at me, then back at him. I want out, he pointed at me. He put this idea in your head. I stepped forward. She made that choice alone, he glared. Shut up. I shook my head. Make me. For a moment, no one breathed. Then he lunged, but Lila grabbed his arm. Stop, she cried. You're not hurting him. Not again. Not anyone. Adrian shoved her off, but I caught her before she fell. She clung to my sleeve, shaking. A door down the hall opened. My neighbor Dean stuck his head out. Everything all right? He asked. Adrian snapped, Mind your business. Dean stepped fully outside. Not if you're assaulting someone, Adrian barked. I don't need an audience, I said, then leave. He turned his fury back to me. You think you won something tonight? I shook my head. I didn't win anything, Lila whispered Adrian. Please walk away. He stared at her, and for a second, something ugly flickered in his eyes. Desperation, anger, fear. You're making a mistake, he muttered. She straightened. The only mistake I made was staying. His jaw clenched. You'll regret this. I stepped between them. Don't say her name again tonight. He glared at me like he was memorizing my face for revenge. You want a war? He asked quietly. Fine, you'll get one. He spun around and stormed down the hallway, brushing past Dean without a word. The hallway fell silent. Leela covered her mouth, shaking violently. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. I didn't want it to get this bad. I guided her inside my apartment gently. You spoke the truth, I said. You finally said it, as she sank onto my couch. He won't let this go, Ethan. I sat across from her so I wouldn't fall into old patterns. I know. She looked up at me, eyes glistening. Are you scared? I let out a breath. Yeah, I admitted, but not of him. I'm scared of what comes next. She nodded slowly. Everything's changing. After she left with Dean escorting her safely to the elevator, I locked my door and sank onto my bed. I stared at the ceiling in the darkness, heart pounding, sleep nowhere near me. My life just changed, I whispered into the silence. And there's no going back now. I woke up to 3 missed calls from Leela and 1 text from an unknown number. When I opened it, I read, "You should see the news." My chest tightened, and I called Leela immediately. She answered on the first ring. "Ethan," she said, breath shaky. "Evelyn reported him. It's everywhere." I rubbed my forehead. "Reported him for what?" She whispered, "For what he did to me." For what he did to her? For everything. I sat down on the edge of my bed. "So this is really happening," she said. "His board is panicking. They suspended him this morning." I exhaled slowly. He finally slipped. She let out a soft, painful laugh. "I guess karma doesn't like him much." I didn't know how to respond. "Where are you now?" I asked. "In a hotel," she said. "Evelyn booked it for me. She said it isn't safe at the penthouse anymore." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. "Good. Stay there for now." She hesitated. Can I come meet you later? Just to talk?" I paused. "We'll see," I said. A lot is happening. After the call, I walked to my kitchen and poured myself coffee, trying to settle my thoughts. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a news alert. Adrian Cross under investigation. I read the headline twice, letting the words sink in. For the first time in 2 years, the world wasn't bending around his power. For the first time, he looked breakable. Later in the afternoon, I met Lila outside a quiet rental apartment I'd found for her. She walked toward me slowly, wrapped in a coat 2 sizes too big. "Thank you for finding this," she said softly. "I didn't know where else to go." I unlocked the door and nodded. "It's temporary, but it's safe." She stepped inside, looking around. "Safe feels unreal," she said. I forgot what it felt like. I leaned against the wall. "You're out now. That counts." She turned toward me, eyes glossy. "Ethan, I want to say something." I shook my head. "Don't." She wiped her cheek. "I need to." I exhaled. "Fine, say it." She looked at the floor. "I'm sorry. For everything. For choosing him. For hurting you. For pretending I didn't know what I was doing." I closed my eyes for a second. "I can't answer that," I said. "Not right now." She stepped closer. "I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to hear me." I opened my eyes. "I did hear you, but I'm still figuring out how I feel." She nodded. "I understand." I walked to the window and looked out at the empty street. "You know, I said 2 years ago I thought losing you meant losing my whole life," she whispered. "I know. But standing here today, I don't feel that anymore." Her voice cracked. "That hurts, but I'm glad." I let out a breath. I'm not the man I was. I don't break that easily anymore. She sat on the couch. "Adrian called me this morning," she said. "He threatened to make everyone pay for humiliating him." I shook my head. "He still thinks fear is his only weapon." She looked up at me. "Are you scared?" I shrugged. "Not of him. Not anymore." She tilted her head. "Why?" I rubbed my jaw. "Because he's losing control. And when men like him lose control, they fall harder than anyone else." She whispered, "Evelyn told me the board is cutting him out. Investors are backing away." I crossed my arms. Good. He built his empire on fear. Now fear is eating him back. She stared at her hands. "I never thought I'd see him like this," I said. "Karma always waits. Sometimes longer than we want, but it waits." She swallowed. "Thank you for helping me." I shook my head. "I'm not doing this for the past. I'm doing it because you needed a way out." She stood. "Do you hate me, Ethan?" I met her eyes. "No, I don't hate you. But I can't be what I used to be to you." She nodded slowly. "I don't deserve that anyway." We stood in silence for a moment, before I stepped toward the door. "You're safe here. I'll check in tomorrow," she whispered. "Ethan, I'm proud of who you became." "Yeah," I said quietly. "So am I." And for the first time in a long time, I walked away feeling stronger than I arrived. I parked a few blocks away from the courthouse, letting the engine idle, while I tried to steady my hands. Lila sat beside me, clutching her purse like it was a lifeline. "Are you ready?" I asked. She nodded slowly, eyes downcast. "As ready as I'll ever be," she whispered. I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded back. The courthouse smelled of polished wood and stale air. We walked in quietly, heads down, until the clerk directed us to a waiting room. Adrian was already there, sitting stiffly in a chair like a mannequin. He looked smaller somehow, his usual arrogance stripped away. His suit hung on him differently, and his jaw no longer carried that confident snap. I swallowed. "He looks defeated," I muttered under my breath. Leela glanced at me. "I've never seen him like this," she said. The judge called us in. Judge Carter's eyes scanned us quickly before settling. "Are both parties prepared to sign?" he asked. Adrian straightened, lips tight. "Yes," he muttered. Leela went first, her hand shaking as she held the pen. I stayed close, letting her lean on me silently if she needed it. I'm signing," she whispered. I said nothing, just nodded. Adrian's turn came, and he hesitated. His eyes flicked to me, then to Leela, before he scribbled his signature. His hand trembled, not with fear, but exhaustion. "You think you've won something?" he tried to say, voice faltering. I looked at him evenly. "No, this isn't a win. It's the end." He stared at me a moment longer, lips quivering. Then he stood abruptly and left, leaving the room heavy with quiet. The judge stamped the papers, finalizing everything. Leela looked at the document, then turned to me. "Thank you," she whispered, voice soft and shaky, "for standing by me when you didn't have to." I met her gaze and nodded. "You don't have to thank me," I said. "You did what you had to do." She exhaled slowly, relief washing over her face. "It feels surreal." Surreal is the right word. We walked out of the courtroom together, side by side but not touching. The spring air felt sharp against my skin. "So now what?" she asked quietly. I shrugged. "Now we breathe. That's it." She glanced at me, eyes lingering. "Do you want to talk about us?" I shook my head slowly. "Not now. Maybe not ever." She nodded, a faint, sad smile forming. "I understand." She reached into her bag and pulled out the little phone with the recordings. I can finally delete this," she said. "It won't matter anymore." I nodded. "Good. Let the past go where it belongs." She hesitated, then tucked it back into her purse. "I feel lighter," she whispered. "And you?" I glanced at her. "Different, stronger. Not because of revenge, but because I'm not the same man I was." She gave a small laugh, tears glistening. "You've changed." I let the word settle. The city buzzed outside, cars and footsteps colliding with our silence. Lila exhaled deeply. "I guess this is really over," she said. I nodded, not replying. Part of me wanted to comfort her, to explain how I still felt, but I didn't. That wasn't my place anymore. She had her freedom, and I had my life. That was enough. For now, we reached the car. I opened her door for her, letting her step inside first. "Take care of yourself," I said softly. "You too," she replied. Her eyes held mine for a long moment before she looked away. I closed the door, sliding into the driver's seat. The engine roared to life, but I didn't move immediately. I just sat there, letting the quiet settle around me. A strange peace had arrived, tempered with distance. The truth was simple. Some chapters end, some people stay. Some things are better left unsaid. I drove away, feeling the weight lift, but also sensing the space between us. The divorce was final. The past was sealed. And for the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe without being pulled back into her storm. The sunlight hit the courthouse steps hard, making me squint. Lila reached for my hand as we stepped outside. Her fingers brushed mine, tentative, like she was afraid I'd pull away. I hesitated, then gently let her hand slip through mine. She looked at me, eyes wide. "Ethan," she whispered. I swallowed. "Lila, we need to talk," I said softly. She nodded, trembling. I wanted to stay close." I shook my head gently. "Not like this. It's not now. Not ever, maybe." Her lips quivered. "I don't understand." I let out a long breath. "I loved you more than myself once. I would have done anything for you. But that time is gone." She blinked, disbelief and hurt flickering across her face. "Gone?" she asked, voice breaking. "Yes," I said. "I can't go back. I won't go back. I choose peace now." She stumbled slightly, leaning against the stone railing. You mean you've already let me go?" I nodded. "I never needed to, Lila. You left me long before the divorce. The woman I loved didn't stay. And now I can finally let go too." She pressed her hands to her face, tears falling freely. I was so wrong. I didn't see what I had. I felt a pang, but it was not the old hollow ache. This was something different. Clarity, distance, strength. "I know," I said, "and you'll learn from it." She wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand. I wanted to apologize again. I thought maybe I held up a hand. "Don't. I don't need it. You don't need it. This isn't about apologies. This is about moving forward." She shook her head slowly. I thought, if I came back, we could start over." I stepped back slightly. "We can't start over. That person I was, he's gone. And the person I am has to walk away." Her shoulders slumped. "So this is it?" I nodded. "This is it. No more shadows. No more chasing what isn't ours." She sank to the steps, head in her hands. "I lost you," she whispered. Before I even knew it, crouched down beside her for a moment, but not touching. "You did. But that's the truth we both needed to see." She raised her head slowly, meeting my eyes. "And you really don't feel anything?" I shook my head. "Not in the way you hope. I feel relief. I feel closure. And yes, it hurts. But it frees me." She let out a long, trembling breath. "I never thought letting go could be so final." I said, "It is. But sometimes final is exactly what we need." She blinked rapidly, trying to blink away tears. "I thought I'd see your anger, your revenge." I smiled faintly. "Karma doesn't have to be loud, Lila. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's the simple moment when you finally let go and walk away." She didn't answer, just sat still, staring at the steps. I could see her understanding slowly dawning. I stood, feeling the weight of years lifting from my shoulders. "I should go," I said softly. She didn't move. I'll be okay," she whispered. I nodded, turning toward the street. The city buzzed around me, cars honking, people walking, life continuing. But for me, it was different. The noise felt distant, irrelevant. My chest felt lighter, my hands unclenched, my heart finally quiet. I glanced back once. Lila was still sitting there, a small figure against the courthouse steps, staring after me. I didn't wave. I didn't call her name. I just let her exist in that moment, just as I let myself exist in mine. The air was warm, the sun harsh, and the world moving forward. And I walked away. Each step felt steady, deliberate, freeing. The past wasn't gone, but I wasn't carrying it anymore. And that, I realized, was the most powerful kind of justice. Not the loud victories, not the public shame, but the quiet triumph of letting go, of finally choosing myself, of walking away without looking back.